Hey, good morning, students. Today we are going to start the next module, and this is the last module of this course, module number 4. And in this module, we are going to study the vacuum measurements and low temperature techniques. Let us go through the syllabus of this module. In this module, we are going to study the vacuum gauges like McLeod gauge, thermocouple gauge, that is Pirani gauge, Penning gauge, hot cathode ionization gauge, then Biard-Alpert gauge, leak detections in vacuum pumps. And in low temperature techniques, we are going to study a refrigeration principle, including thermodynamic aspects, which we have already studied in the TYBSc, and the low temperature production techniques, that is throttling process. That means low temperature techniques we have already studied, but still we are going to study here, right? So what are the various low temperature, low pressure measurements? So there are two types of low pressure measurement gauges, and these gauges are divided into its two different types, that is total pressure gauge and partial pressure gauges. Classification of gauges is absolute gauge, thermocouple conductivity gauge or thermal conductivity gauge, hot cathode ionization gauge, cold cathode ionization gauge, magnetron gauge, partial pressure gauge, viscosity gauge. These are various types of gauges actually. Absolute gauge. What are the various types of absolute gauges? U-tube manometer, mechanical diaphragm gauge, capacitance gauge, McLeod gauge, and Knudsen gauge. These are all absolute gauges. All are not included in your syllabus, but these are various types which are exist. So I have just enlisted all the type of gauges here. What are the various kind of thermal conductivity gauges? Pirani gauge is a thermal conductivity gauge, thermocouple gauge, thermistor gauge. These are the thermal conductivity gauges. What are hot cathode ionization gauges? Ion gauge, Biard-Alpert gauge, and modulated Biard-Alpertation gauge. These are the types of hot ionization gauge. Cold cathode ionization gauge is a Penning gauge, and magnetron gauge. The type of magnetron gauges are red heat cold cathode magnetron, then lottery hot cathode magnetron. What are the types of partial pressure analyzers? Magnetic deflection type, omegatron, and quadrupole. These are the types of partial pressure analyzer. A viscosity gauge is a spinning rotator gauge. So let us study the first kind of gauge, absolute gauge. McLeod gauge is a type of absolute gauge. So what do you mean by absolute gauge? Absolute gauge is a gauge that measures the total pressure, but the whole calibration is independent of gas composition and depends only on geometric or mechanical factors. This is called as the absolute gauge. And McLeod vacuum gauge or just a McLeod gauge is one of the type of absolute gauge. This is the pictorial representation for the McLeod gauge, which includes a mercury reservoir, a piston, you can see in the diagram. So this is, you can see my cursor, this is a mercury reservoir, and above is there is a piston, and this is a cutoff point. This is a reference column. This is a capillary, and within the capillary this is called as the reference column, whereas this is a reference capillary wherein the scale is calibrated and there is a point, 0 point. So therefore it is called as a 0 reference point. With reference to this, the scale is measured on the right hand side capillary. This is also a capillary. So this is a measuring capillary, this is a reference capillary, right? And the height of the liquid column, that is mercury column, is measured over here. Got it? So let's move and try to study in detail about the McLeod gauge. So this diagram and earlier diagram both are same. There is no difference, and there is just a small pictorial difference in the diagrams, because the mercury bulb is shown in a rounded shape in the earlier diagram. Here is not exactly rounded, so little bit difference in the diagram, that's all. So what is the working of this McLeod gauge? The principle of the McLeod gauge is essentially a mercury manometer. So this this McLeod gauge contains a mercury manometer in which a volume of the gas is compressed. The volume of the gas is compressed here before the measurement, and it operates by compressing a low pressure gas of known volume into a smaller volume so that its pressure is sufficiently higher enough to be read. Now see, here you are having a mercury reservoir at the bottom in the capillary, and there is a plugger, right? And opening of the mercury manometer tube is shown in the diagram. Measuring capillary and reference capillary is also shown here, right? And in the nearby diagram there is a one more diagram shown, which is a reference capillary actually, right? The scale is calibrated on it. If you compare these diagrams with the earlier diagram, then you will come to know. So the McLeod gauge consists of the reservoir containing the mercury into it. A plugger is, where is the plugger? Plugger is just shown above the mercury reservoir. So the plugger is attached on the top of the reservoir, which is used to raise or lower the level of mercury into the reference column and the bulb. So basically the use of the plugger is either to rise or lower the level of the mercury in the mercury manometer tube, right? Above the reservoir there is a bulb and reference column, you can see in the diagram. So above the mercury reservoir we are having a bulb. So this is a bulb. If you can see the cursor of cursor, so this is a bulb and the reference column. The point of connection of the bulb and the reference column is the opening of the cutoff point. That means this, right? The other end of the reference column is open to vacuum pressure and it has a reference capillary. The reference capillary has a 0 point up to which the mercury is raised. So level of the mercury can be raised up to the 0 reference point. The mercury rises in the capillary as much as it rises in the column, but only the volume differs. The reference column is attached to a measuring capillary, which is a sealed chamber, and from which the final volume of the gas is read, right? So let us try to study now the actual operation of the McLeod gauge. And the actual operation of the McLeod gauge, or I can say the working of the McLeod gauge, is based on the Boyle's law, which you already studied in the 11th and 12th standard. So what is this Boyle's law? Boyle's law gives the mathematical relation PV is equals to RT, or I can say P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. Let us indicate here this relation with PV is equal to PC VC, where PV, P and V is the pressure and volume of the gas before compression of the liquid, that is mercury reservoir, right? And PC and VC are the pressure and volume of the gas after compression. Or you can indicate these pressure and volumes with the P1 V1 and P2 V2 where P1, V1 are the pressure and volume of the gas before compression, and P2, V2 are the pressure and volume of the gas after compression. You can indicate in this way. So those are dummy variables, no problem. So the unknown vacuum pressure source is connected to the reference column. You can refer to understand this in more better way, the diagram, so that you can understand it well. So the unknown vacuum pressure source is connected to the reference column and the pressure is applied. The level of the mercury is adjusted so that at the opening or the cutoff point, now the unknown pressure P applied on the mercury reservoir fills the bulb and the capillary. The volume of the unknown pressure is the volume of the bulb, and the capillary which is given by volume V. The mercury is forced into the bulb and the capillary by operating the plugger. Once the level of the mercury crosses the cutoff point or opening, then it stops the entry of the applied pressure into the bulb and the measuring capillary. The level of the mercury is raised until it reaches the zero reference point. The pressure and volume of the gas trapped in measuring capillary are read and unknown vacuum pressure is calculated. The pressure of the gas remaining in the measuring capillary is therefore given by PC, that means pressure after compressing the gas will be equals to the pressure plus the height of the liquid column or the mercury column, I can say. The volume of the gas remaining in the measuring capillary is given by VC, volume after compression. VC is equals to area of the mercury manometer tube into the height of the liquid column. So VC is equal to ACH, where H is the difference in the height of the mercury in the reference and the measuring capillary, and AC is the area of the cross section of the measuring capillary. And therefore, if you put these values into the above Boyle's law relation, PV is equal to PC, then you will get this is equals to PV is equal to, now what is the value of PC? PC is equal to P plus H. So PV is equal to P plus H into VC is equal to ACH. So you will get PV is equal to P plus H into ACH. And if you multiply by ACH to this bracket, then you will get this is equals to PACH plus AC into H square. And therefore, in the next line, you can write by transferring PACH of right hand side to the left hand side and taking out P common, you will get P into bracket V minus ACH is equal to ACH square. But now this ACH is much less than V, and therefore we can neglect this term from the left hand side. Negative term minus ACH this can be neglected, because the value of ACH, that means area of the liquid column after compression into height, is much less than the volume. Volume is much bigger as compared to this ACH value. So therefore ACH is neglected, and therefore you will get PV on left hand side is equal to ACH square, and therefore the pressure applied on the mercury column is equals to P is equal to AC square by the divided by the volume of the mercury in the bulb. So we got this formula for the pressure applied on the mercury. P is equal to AC H square by V. Hope you have understood this Macleod gauge, and next time we'll study the next kind of gauge. Thank you.